Limberhand, a Cheyenne. I was born and raised in Lame Deer, Montana, Cheyenne Reservation. Born in '46. Horses, always been a part of my life. I've always been real fond of horses. Learned to ride at a real young age. Remember my first horse, the old buckskin mare that we had. First learned how to ride on an old paint horse that about 20-30 other kids learned how to ride on. He had one eye. Kids caught him in the eye with fishhook, and he was still a darn good horse, good babysitter. But later on, got my own horse, and remember that old mare that I had. She's just awesome, you know. And to me, cowboys or horsemen, they're born. They're not. You can't make them. You can help them after if they show the interest, but they just have to have that heart to want to be a cowboy or a cowgirl. I was a kid that put on boots and spurs and my cowboy hat and chaps to go get the milk cow. You know, that's how bad I wanted to be a cowboy. I rode a little, rodeoed a little, and always liked it. You know, just kind of craved it. Just wanted to. And in order to be a rodeo cowboy or a ranch cowboy, you gotta have to want it. There ain't no money in it. You just can't make a living doing it. You just like it. That's about all I can say about that.
My name is Leroy Whiteman from Lame Deer, Montana. Born and raised here on the Northern Cheyenne Reservation. My Indian name is Mavikus, translation Redbird, named after my great uncle who was in the Battle of the Little Bighorn. Being a horseman all my life, but kind of passed down from generation to generation. Our people were at one time, until the horse was there, we were kind of mound people and kind of stayed in one place. And then after the Spaniards brought the horses into this country, that would have been the Mustangs, Spanish barbs, and were introduced to the Cheyenne people. And they became known as the horsemen, and also probably the most feared for the horsemanship that they learned how to ride the horse, use the horse in battle, use it to camp, to move camps, to hunt buffalo, really a big thing in the Indian world. And I remember working on all the ranches and everything, breaking horses, riding horses, which I guess led to my grandchildren, our horsemen. My whole family are horse. In fact, we've got horses as I guess in what it shows, this just 2010, my grandsons, the Indian Relays, we won the 2010 World Championship at Sheridan, Wyoming, 26 teams. 2011 we won back-to-back championships.
The Cheyenne own about 200 head of buffalo, or thereabouts, 200 head, and they run on about 200,000 or 300,000 acres. They're free roaming buffalo. Pretty awesome to be involved in raising buffalo. Buffalo are good farmers. They're much more durable than domestic cattle are. They're easier to handle, except they're wild, and you can manage them horseback or four-wheelers. One time we were sorting buffalo in a big pen, and we couldn't get a bull separated from the herd, so I decided I'd rope him. And I built a loop and tied a knot on his horns and tried to hold him to a snubbing post, to a corral post. I knew I made a mistake when I roped him, because he took that rope and just made it sing. And I stopped him enough, but after a little fighting he broke the rope and it snapped just like a piece of string, and he went down a alleyway that we had and tore that up, went through a squeeze chute, decided that he was going to go through a gate that was about 8 feet tall. He just jumped right in the middle of that gate and bent that gate to a V-like. He hooked his horn on a piece of that woven wire fence, pulled up about 5 or 6 fence posts, steel fence posts, hooked on his horn and broke that wire off. And the last time we seen him, he was going over a hill about 4 or 5 miles, quarter mile away, pulling those 4 or 5 fence posts, and never did see him after that. A pretty awesome sight to see how much power them old buffalo have. They're another thing I noticed about buffalo is they can practice. I know they can outrun a horse. You'd think that they run upright, but they run with their legs stretched out like that, and their belly is only about that far off the ground, so it's kind of a stretched out gait run that they have, and they can turn on a dime. I mean, they're not like cattle. Their horns are sharp as weapons, and if they ever hooked you with them, they'd rip you open. And they're just dangerous, but you got to treat them with respect, and they'll respect you too if you give them their space and distance. There's an indicator that tells you when a buffalo is upset or aroused. Their tail forms like a scorpion tail. They'll curl up like that, and whenever you see the tail hook curl up like a scorpion's tail, you get the heck out of the way, or get to a safe place, because they're going to charge and defend whatever is happening.
Yeah, every year the Sioux, the Cheyenne, the Arapaho, they celebrate the victory over Custer in the Battle of the Little Bighorn. The Cheyenne people lost 9 suicide warriors, which would have been the young men that held their horses or got the horses ready while Billy, or if there's an attack. This is a picture of my grandfather taken at Fort Keel, Miles City, Montana. I was after the Battle of Little Bighorn. He became a scout for General Miles, and the baby is one of my grandfathers. We're not sure which one it was, but right, this headdress that he's wearing, the headdress was passed to my grandfather, to my dad, and I own it now, and passed to me. But anyway, that was what I was doing. I wore it this weekend at reenactment of the Battle of the Bighorn. And some of the feathers are getting so old, I'm putting it back in storage in the vacuum bags, so we can keep the moths and everything out of it. Maybe it'll last. We figure this is a little over 100 years old, so pretty proud of it being passed down to me. So.
My my grandpa's brother, Limberbones, was one of the warriors that was killed at the Little Bighorn fight, Custer fight. He was about, I think they said 17, 18, in the neighborhood of that. He was one of the, what they call the suicide boys. They were the warriors that challenged the cavalry and rode in and took the attention away from the other warriors that were fighting and shooting the main. They were in the main charge. We have a memorial ride that we do. It's a memorial ride to honor those warriors that fought in the battle and those that lost their lives, and it gets a tribe and the people together to just celebrate or honor our people that were there. And back a few years ago, they started a campaign that marked the site where the Indian warriors were killed. It's a honorable thing to do now to memorialize what happened. The young people need to know that history, and even though we did win a battle, we never won the war. We still suffer consequences of that. But it's a good thing that people are learning about the battle, and I'm glad to be a part of it.